Good day. On this very short class from Unit 2, where we are discussing people acquisition and empowerment. So today's class is about looking for and finding the right talent. And then once you find them, you orientate them. So it's a very short class on the hiring function of HRM, which focuses on just three things just today. That's your recruitment, selection, and orientation. So just those three areas. As a result, the learning outcome is to evaluate the acquisition of talent and evaluate the management and development of talent. So that's what we are looking at. And this function is important because any organization that is going to succeed, it will depend on the type of people that are hired there or the type of people that are working there. So this is very important that the right people are sourced and these people are hired properly and they do have the right skill at the right time for the right job. So we are looking at recruitment and selection, and recruitment is basically the initial HR activity that business implements to attract a pool of candidates to apply for vacancy. This is you advertising, trying to invite people to apply. Another, I think, definition for this is attracting key talent or attracting suitable candidates. This you can do in different ways, which we'll just look at just now. So selection would be the process after you have recruited, where you have brought your people and got all the people that you need. So selection is a process of trying to determine which individuals will best match particular jobs in the organizational context. And these people should assist in terms of achieving the objective of the organization. And also, while doing this, the person's objectives are taken into account, and also their differences are also considered. And then they must meet the requirements of the job and also be in line or understand that the organization's internal and external environment would affect the people or affect the jobs that they do. So the people that you select would be the best fit with all of these. So we have the recruitment process, which ranges from organization to organization. They are not the same for all organizations, but basically the steps are analyzing the recruitment needs. What do we need? What skill do we need? Where do we need the skill? By when do we need the skill? How many skill or people rather do we need? And then once you've done that, you have a look at step 2, look at the policy. Organizations have recruitment policies, and these recruitment policies are basically guidelines on where to advertise, when to advertise, how much cost would involved, who to recruit in terms of are we allowed to recruit internally? Can we recruit people with the same surname as those that are working here? So the recruitment policy always guides on such decisions. And then outside the recruitment policy, there are other factors which will affect your recruitment. Could be would you want fresh candidates from school? Would you want people who are retiring? So there's other factors which might not be catered for in the policy, but you would need to consider them. Once you've done that, you consider which source will you recruit from? Are you recruiting internally or are you recruiting externally? Internally being within the organization first, and then externally outside the organization. And then once you've done that, each Your decision whether to go internal, external will have uh, different recruitment methods, and not all of them might fit what you're looking for. So the appropriate method will depend um, what type of skill are you looking for. For example, if you're looking for someone who's at an entry level, then such a person would be found, for example, from colleges or universities, while someone who's more skilled and more professional would be found from other organizations. So the method will fit the source and also will fit the type of job that is there. And then once you do that, you place the ad. Could be in the newspaper, could be on social media, could be on the internet, depends what you're looking for. And then just make sure you have the correct application forms to gather this information that you need. So there's your sources, as I've spoken, there's your internal, this is within the organization, and there's your external, which is outside the organization. So if we're talking internal, we are talking from um, existing employees. This is now people taken from other departments. If from other sections, that might be from this section or might be from a totally different section. But um, this is when you've decided you're going to first start within the organization. And then you can get referrals from existing employees where they assist into bringing people who they know, could be personally. And the idea is that once you are known by someone working there, then they can vouch for you. Maybe your behavior will be okay enough for them to consider, or for you as a recruit to be considered. And then former employees are also a source or a method where maybe retired or even some in competing organizations, they are seen as internal because they already possess some knowledge about your organization. But then if you have decided to go outside, then you could advertise. I mentioned social media, I mentioned newspapers, radio, depends on the position. You could go to employment agencies. These um, are organizations that assist in recruiting. What they do is chances they work on behalf of the organization, and what they would do, they would shortlist, they would have candidates ready for you to interview. They might sometimes have ready people that you don't need to interview. So these would assist. And then depending on the job, once again, you could just get people from tertiary institutions where depending on the level, if you want fresh recruits, then tertiary institutions would assist you in getting these people. You could get people or candidates from government agencies. Different government agencies could have databases, and you could get people from there. You could get people leaving from internships and learnerships once they complete. Obviously, these ones are different from the one entering from school. You could use flyers and emails, and then you could also source people from professional bodies. Now, for HRM, a professional body that we could use would be SAPPP, South African Board of People Practices. You get people who are members from there. Chances are there's an advantage of having them because they do have a clue about the field that you are in. Once you've successfully recruited, you go through the selection process. And the selection process starts with initial screening, which is basically shortlisting and cutting down from the big number to few candidates. And then you gather information on those that will be interviewed, and then you evaluate. This is you cutting down. So from here up to four, It's you cutting down up in trying to decide who stays, who leaves, and who goes through to the next step. So the next step would be the interviews, um, different interviews. You could have structured interviews which have set questions, or you could have unstructured, which is more flexible. You could have stress interviews, you could have spouse interviews, different interviews depending on the type of job that is on offer. And then also depending on that job, you could move and do employment tests if you pass this one. Some organizations would want you to show your practical and show that you are able to do the job. And then if you go to there, and the what I forgot to say is that even here with the selection process, organizations differ from organization to organizations. Some would want the reference right at the end, some would want it in the beginning. So it depends on the organization's policy. So you do reference check where you check the qualifications, you check the CV, the applications. Some you check with the people listed on the CV, some you check with different organizations that are there to check criminal records, to check financial records and credit scores, depending on the job. And then the final selection is done by line managers who will be working with this person. And then medical checks, different jobs would have different requirements. Medical checks would be for jobs like your pilots. These guys would need to be tested regularly to see if they're healthy, if they're not gonna experience any sicknesses while on air, and many other different jobs that are there. And then once that is done and this person has passed all of this, they go through and get offered an appointment. They get given a contract to sign where they are told they are given the start date, who they'll be reporting to, how much money they're going to get, their leave days, and all of that. You get that on your not on the contract, but in the appointment letter. Once this person has accepted the letter, then we move on to the orientation stage. But if they decline, then we'd have to restart the process over and all over again. But if they agree that they would want to work, we then engage in a process called orientation, also called induction. This process is basically where the employee is introduced to the organization, to its employees, meaning the colleagues, to the buildings, to the policies and the laws and the rules, um, to to the machinery, to the customers. So this is basically bringing in the person and welcoming them into the organization. So it has its importance because if the organization does not sit to make this person feel welcome, then the other colleagues would do that. And chances are sometimes this is not a good thing because they might leave out some things. And if they are negative employees, this might even be very costly for the organization. So orientation would help reduce absenteeism because this person's already familiar with what the organization is doing, and they would want to be part of the organization and not be absent all the time because they don't feel part of the organization. Um, Orientation would have helped them to fit in easily and more quickly, as opposed to letting them fit in by themselves. If the organization organizes it, or if HRM organizes it, then the person would fit in more quickly. And because this is a meeting of some sort or an event, um, the policies and procedures are explained to the person. They are told what to do, what not to do, where to go if they need something. And then orientation also makes the new employee feel part of the team, which is what I've just mentioned, because they would have been told everything that they need to know, but being they would be prepared to be a ready fit for the organization. And then also orientation helps gather information from the new employee. Um, this is even information that would be not on the application form, not on the CV, and this would assist in working with the person. And then orientation also helps to anticipate and answer questions that the employee might have. So before they even have it, you would have answered their questions because you have prepared a package for them during the orientation process. The orientation process helps to enhance employer-employee relationships. Enhancing meaning it makes it easier. It creates a flow, so that there's no doubts and assumptions. Everything is just put down and it's cleared right from the beginning. And then a good orientation program is there to celebrate the arrival of a new employee, and this sort of become like a party. So that's it for today's lesson, and I hope it will be helpful for you as you go to tackle um, your formative assessment one. And obviously, if you need any help, I'm just an email away, or you can reach me on ICANN. All videos are uploaded on YouTube, and then I'll send you the link. Thank you so much, and keep well. Thank you.